Hi, fifth grade. Today for math, we are doing a little in-class activity to get better at finding common denominators. This is going to be very important next week, so make sure you really take your time and understand this so that next week will be really easy for you. We need to have common denominators for our fractions in order to compare, add, or subtract them. So anytime we have fractions and we're wanting to compare them or add them or subtract them, they have to have a common denominator, which means their bottom numbers have to be the same. Okay, so I'm going to write down two fractions. 1/7 and 3/5. The first thing I want to do anytime I'm looking at fractions is I want to look at the bottom numbers and see if they're the same. Are my bottom numbers the same right now? No. So we are going to have to make them so they're the same. And in order to do that, there are two important steps that we have to follow. So over here, I'm going to write the word steps, and we're going to list our steps so that you can pause this video and look back at it anytime you need to know the steps to do this. Okay? Our very first step, so step number 1, is to cross multiply. I'll tell you what that means here in just a minute. Step number 1 is to cross multiply. So first, I'm going to cross multiply my fractions. That means I'm going to circle the numbers that are across from each other diagonally. And I'm going to do that both ways. And I'm going to multiply those. So let's start at the bottom. We always start at the bottom and go up. So 5 times 1 is 5. Writing that up there at the top. And then go the other way starting at the bottom. 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, we're done with step number 1. Now we go on to step number 2, which is multiply the bottom. So once I have cross multiplied and I've written those numbers up there, I'm going to multiply the bottom. And I like to draw a little smiley face down here. 7 times 5, I'm thinking 35. When I get that answer, I'm going to put it underneath each one of these numbers that I just wrote over here. So 35 goes under both of them. Now I have new fractions that have the same denominator, which is exactly what I needed to do. So I have 5/35 and 21/35. Let's try another one of those. I'm going to give the fraction 2/4. And then I'll give the other fraction 6/9. Following my steps, I want to make these have common denominators because I notice right away these two numbers are not the same. So first I need to cross multiply. Make your circles around those numbers. And then remember, we start at the bottom and go up. So 9 times 2, that's 18. I write it up here. 4 times 6 is 24. Then I go on to step number 2, multiply the bottom. So I'm drawing my smiley face. 4 times 9, that's 36. And remember, I write it under both of these on the side. So now I have made my new fractions that have the same bottom number. Let's do one more just to make sure you have it. I'll give you the fractions 3/8 and 1/6. Alrighty, first I'm checking my bottom numbers. They are not the same, so I'm going to follow these steps to get a common denominator. Step 1 is to do what? Hopefully you said cross multiply. So draw your circles around those numbers that are diagonal from each other. Then I'm starting on which side, the top or bottom? Always the bottom, hopefully that's what you said. 6 times 3 is 18. Write that down there. 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, I've cross multiplied, so now I'm looking back up here for step number 2, What is the second thing that I need to do? Hopefully you said multiply the bottom, so draw your little smiley face down there. 8 times 6. 6 and 8 went on a date. What would that be? 48. Where am I going to write that 48 at? Hopefully you said underneath both sides. So now I have 2 new fractions that have the same bottom number. That way I could compare them, I could add them, or I could subtract them. So today you're going to do a little practice with all of these, and you're going to have several different little cards to look at, and you are going to make a common denominator following these 2 steps right here. Good luck. Try your best.